at Xbox Showcase at GDC, and we brought out with Bendik here with a game that I saw a while back. It's called Earthlock, Festival of Magic. Can you tell us a little bit what the general concept is for this game?
Yeah, it's a turn-based RPG, quite strongly focused on narrative and characters. It also has a special crafting system where you grow your different types of resources and then combine that into, for example, ammunition for your spud gun.
So what can you tell us about something that is always very important in a role-playing game is the world. What kind of world is this of Earthlock?
Yeah, it's a world that stopped rotating around its own axis about 2,000 years ago and pretty much wiped out all life forms. Prior to that, there was a super advanced civilization that died out, and then over the next 2,000 years, civilization has returned, but based on discovery of old artifacts rather than invention. And so this story starts off with a group of 4 trying to figure out what's happened. Also, some old forces are returning. So.
All right, sounds interesting. I mean, I guess one of the big appeals here is the sort of the crafting and the fact that you grow your own. Can you tell us a little bit about that mechanic and that part of the game?
Yeah, it's we love old JRPGs, and also looked at Harvest Moon, and we simplified the harvesting a lot. So it's from what we presented at the Kickstarter, where you plant a seed, it grew into a bush, and you pick the fruits and you use the fruits as ammo. Now we've separated that one step, so you'll combine different fruits and spuds into different types of ammo, making it much more flexible. So you'll find seeds on your quests, and then you can bring them back, and also new recipes combining different types of resources.
So is that going to be one of the sort of the major sort of motivations to explore? Is that to find new recipes and find new seeds and sort of grow your arsenal?
Yeah, that's a very important part of the exploration of the game and the game world. But also you'll be able to steal from monsters, and some monsters will have some cool stuff that you can steal during combat.
So one thing that perhaps isn't readily available when you try the game is just the wealth of different actions that the characters have, because it's a really deep system. And when you just try a demo, it's four per stance. There are 2 different stances, and you have 4 actions per stance available at the most, at least. Yeah. But it's a much deeper system underneath. Can you explain a little bit how that works?
Yeah, so when you play the game, you'll be introduced to 1 character at a time and 1 weapon at a time. And so once you have 2 weapons, you can switch between them. And even though you can have lots of different abilities, you can only equip 4 abilities per stance. So just like in Plants vs. Zombies, you need to pick your right selection for that area where you know what kind of enemies you're up against. Yeah.
So, what can you say about the sort of the overworld and the place that you're exploring, and because it's got a very distinct visual style. What can people expect from that?
Yeah, we have 3 different types of game scenes. It's the overworld, which is quite far away. You have enemies you can see, so you can avoid them if you like. And then you get to a certain place, point of interest. That might be a dungeon or like a city, where you will have a different camera angle. And in the cities, of course, there's no monsters, so you won't be fighting, but you'll have a lot of dialogue and mini quests. And then in dungeons, it will be closer, and you'll have a lot more like puzzle elements as well as fighting.
So you mentioned the Kickstarter there briefly. As I believe, you did not get funded. Is that
Yes, we did. We did $180,000 for 150.
All right, cool. So what has happened since, and sort of how have you progressed the game, and where are you at now?
Yeah, we after the Kickstarter, there was a lot of extra work with the Kickstarter, and then we did a lot of work on the combat system, because we just showed a very simple combat, and as we just spoke about, it's been become a lot more complicated and much more tactical depth. So we're really happy with the system that we've created so far. And then we've been focused on developing tools a lot. So we almost have our own RPG maker inside Unity. And now going forward, it's just adding content. And we've got one more team member on the staff now. He started yesterday, Thomas, and he's our new game designer. Worked 10 years at Rockstar North with Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. So that's a good new team member to have on board.
And so, what? I mean, you're here at the Xbox event. What kind of platforms are you targeting now, and then when do you think you'll be ready to ship?
Planning the first release on one platform in October. Whether that will be on Steam or PC or Xbox or PlayStation or Wii U is still up for grabs. But being here might mean we'll be looking at an Xbox launch in October or PC launch. I don't know yet.
But nothing is ruled out or crossed out.
Nope. That's why I'm here.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Yep. Thank you.